Hello and welcome to episode 158 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic is Decisions Will Shape Your Destiny.
Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lynns.
Now, I want to talk about an interesting thing that happened to me last night. It was super interesting. Last night was Mother's Day, and we all went out for Mother's Day dinner. Now, I don't know if I've told you, but I'm the youngest of 6 kids. My parents are Vietnamese. They came over in the 1980s, and they raised 6 children with absolutely nothing, which is absolutely incredible. I have the most deepest respect for their hustle and hard work. And they came over and they were working in their garage and they were sewing clothes for big companies. And so as immigrants do, they want their children to become respected, to grow up with a lot of money, a lot of power, a lot of respect. And so the norm is to become a doctor, dentist, or a lawyer. And naturally, as they go through and as we went through school, my parents were just like, making sure that we're studying every single night, making sure that our grades were great, we're getting all A's, straight A's. A's weren't even good enough. And, for a long period of time, I felt like the black sheep of my family because every single person in there, my brother, my 4 sisters felt so disciplined. They'd go through schools, they'd go in and get through these private schools, and I would be failing. I was horrendous, right? And at the end of the day, my parents did really wonder about me. They was like, well, what is this guy going to do? Is he going to do anything successful? Should we just give up on him? And ultimately, I ended up graduating as a physio. I don't know how. I spent most of my time at the gym training clients, and I went through 4 years of physio at Melbourne Uni. And anyway, long story short, I was sitting down with my sister last night, and she goes to me, Lynn, you know what? You are so lucky. You're so lucky you had it easy. I'm like, what do you mean? She's also a physio. And she said, you had it so easy, parents were just so easy on you. They let you do whatever you wanted. And that is why you are successful now, because she looks at me and, we're selling our property and we've just moved into this new amazing home. And she's literally just gone, you're just so lucky, And I completely got it, because as I listened to her say that, I stood back and I thought, okay, well, that is her worldview of what's happening around her. And I said, I said to her, thank you. I am super lucky. I'm super grateful. I'm super blessed. But inside of my mind, I started to think, well, hold on a second. I'm not lucky. I just decided to make decisions that would shape my destiny. Okay, it's a big quote by the man Tony Robbins, and I want to share it with you because, you see, I graduated physio. I accumulated debt, probably about $60,000 to $70,000, possibly more. I don't even know. I think I paid it off. $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 in debt, right, to finish off my physiotherapy degree. And I worked for 4 months, and I said to myself, I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be stuck in a 3 meter by 3 meter room, touching people, massaging people, looking at feet all day. I made a decision. I said, that's enough. The last straw for me was just being confined in that room and just feeling like I was servicing people. That just didn't feel like I was reaching my full potential. And I'm sure my sister feels the same way. And the reality is, I was willing to make that decision to step out and sacrifice what I had, sacrifice and give up the degree, sacrifice and give up the career to go, holy crap, that's actually not what I want. Okay, and the reasons why I did that was because I didn't know what I wanted to do at the time. I just knew what I didn't want to do. Okay, so many times, so many of us stop ourselves because we are scared, we're not sure what we want to do, and so we stay confined to this small area. A lot of the times I did not know I wanted to do this. In fact, in 5 years' time, right, I don't know where the journey is going to take me, but however, I do know what I don't want to do. And why I'm telling you this message today is because a lot of the times, right, so much energy is wasted on thinking about what to do as opposed to shutting up and doing the work, or just, energy is wasted. So much fear, so much anxiety, so much self-doubt, so much negative energy is wasted on thinking and procrastinating about either doing it or not doing it, or doing it or not doing it, that if you make the decision to not do it, it's like, right, let's move on. I've made a decision not to do that. I can't go back. Let's go. right? It's the same thing. And I'm thinking back to the property that me and Kerry just bought. And you know what? It could have been the most scariest thing. And I think it would have been because of the amount of money that we paid for it. But here's the reality. If I had sat down with her and procrastinated night and day, should we buy it? Should we get a building inspection? Do we have the funds? Do we need this? Do we need that? But what if it's not right? And checking out all the leaks and cracks that normal people would go through. And the reasons why I say normal is just our society thinks this way, right? Then I would be screwed. Do you know how much stress I would have accumulated? Do you know that I would have knocked myself out of the park before I've even begun? Do you know that I probably wouldn't have ended up buying the house because I'd still be thinking about whether or not I should buy the house? And then do you know the amount of regret that I'd live with right now if I didn't buy the house? It'd be absolutely crazy. So I'm telling you this now because a lot of the times, right, most people don't get what they want because they're not willing to say no. Or they're not willing to give up things, or they're not willing to sacrifice, or they're not even willing to make decisions. And a decision means that you can't go back, you keep your word, right? You don't go and do something and then move back on it. And what I've learned to do now is back myself 100% no matter what decision I make. Whether it was a good one, whether it was a bad one, who knows? But I know that as long as I back myself 100%, I will keep growing. That's the thing. Even with the bad decision, you will keep growing. Understand that there is only good decisions, right? And so when I thought back to what my sister said, I was kind of like, okay, all right, like I understand where you're at. You're working in physio. You've been there for about 6 years, 7 years, whatever it is. And I kind of look at my life and I'm like, yeah, luck. I get it. I get where you're coming with the luck. But here's the reality. I made the decision to give that up. I made the decision to leave the gym. I made the decision, right, to give up my dental marketing agency. I made a decision to sell out on my studios. I made a decision, right, to sell back the Pilates and yoga show. I made a decision to go all in. So why I'm telling you this is because a lot of the journey, and I'm definitely not saying this to brag, it's definitely a learning lesson for me and for you. But here's the reality. A lot of people, each and every single step that I've taken to move me to where I want to go and move me here, right? Most people would have procrastinated the hell out of every single step. They would have procrastinated out of giving up the degree and thinking about the 70, 80,000 or whatever it was. I don't even know. I think it was 20,000 a year, but actually I did study for 5 years. It was a lot more. But with that being said, giving up that degree, right? Then giving up leaving personal training inside the gym, and then giving up the studios, right? The gyms, managing gyms, right? And then giving up their business that they went into partnership with, that they put their hard work and build out for 6 months in a Pilates, yoga and physio studio, giving that up and then getting 90 clients to pay you for a digital marketing agency where you generated leads for them, giving that up and then moving to where you actually want to go. So I'm telling you this because two reasons, okay? Most of the time we won't know where we want to go. That's the reality. Clarity comes from doing shit. Okay, when you start to do shit, you start to get more clear on what you want to do. But here's the thing. What you do know right now is what you don't want to do. What you do know right now inside of your life is you know that you don't want to do that. So why the hell are you doing that? Why are you doing that? And so a lot of the times when you're looking out to people and you see the success that they have, you start to wonder yourself, well, actually, I did study for, they're just lucky. How do I get that level of success they have? And the reality is it's all shaped by the decisions. They made the decisions to say no. They made the decisions to stand by and actually give up things and sacrifice things along the way. So my question to you today is, what are you going to say no to?
Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes and feel free to leave a review, and that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.